Okay, this is on national TV, by the way. National Wheatgrass. Here it is, all right. Okay.
Good.
Then it was here.
Yeah.
Now, overall.
No.
Is that okay?
It's gonna be pretty dim. At least have these on. Yeah.
We need the lights over there.
Yeah, over there.
That's
Over
perfect.
there in the stage.
Why, is these lights on?
Well, these
Well, these are burned out here, right?
Can they turn this one off?
The center ones are burned out, right?
How about this one?
Because this is fine. If these lights were on, it'd be good. But... Can you hear me? Are you sure? Are you really ready for a great, exciting evening or not? One more. Let me really hear it. Really. Beautiful. All right, folks. Put your E's and I's on the shelf. Tuck away your buckets. Forget all your colonic appointments because, ready, strap yourselves in your seats. Live from Lemon Grove, it's the Friday Night Social. Yeah! Hi, I'm Craig Leswick. I'm going to be your MC for the night. I normally don't do this unless I'm in front of national TV, but I really like you guys. I do impressions, and I'm giving you guys a choice of 2 impressions, and you're going to make your decision. I can either do Elizabeth Taylor, or I can give you my impression of Rachel Solomon. It's up to you. Rachel Solomon.
Rachel.
Okay, so it's Elizabeth Taylor, right? Rachel Solomon. All right, now I need to just get myself together here. Okay, my impression of Rachel Solomon. Well, I think Rachel's a wonderful woman. I think she's done a great job here. She dresses well. That's my impression of her. Next Friday, I'll really do the real impersonation. I told this story to a few people before, but I have to say it once more. And if you heard it before, it's tough. If not, it's great. I'm from Atlantic City, living in Atlantic City right now, New Jersey, and we go to the casinos a lot. And they have all the buffets and so forth, great food. And I was there with my family, and there was a woman, it was a double line. There was a woman standing there with N-A-N on her sweatshirt. And I just took for granted that was her name, Nan or Nancy. And I said, excuse me, Nan, I said, could you please pass me a plate? And she just kind of looked at me. And I thought maybe she didn't hear me. I said, a little louder, I said, Nan, could you pass me a plate, please? And she said, why do you insist on calling me Nan? And I said, well, isn't that your name? I see N-A-N on your sweatshirt. Doesn't that stand for Nan? She says, no. She says, that stands for National Association for Nymphomaniacs. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. I said, you guys are really, you have an organization? She says, absolutely. In fact, we just rented one of the halls out here, and we voted on who the most sexual American male was. I said, oh gosh, you're kidding. I said, tell me, who was first? And she said, the American Indian was first. I said, really? And who was second? And she said that the Jewish American male was second. I said, no, that's unbelievable. I said, oh, by the way, what is your name? She said, well, my name's Irene. And she said, and what is your name? I said, well, my name's Tonto Goldberg. Anyway, we have a special guest star here. And we got him all the way from the kibbutz of Jerusalem, Chicago, our very own rabbi, Mr. Marvin True.
I know so many of you have heard this before, but... Okay. I came here 12 weeks ago, and I was here about 3 days, and I didn't know anybody, and I was very lonely. Some guy comes up to me and he says, how'd you like to go to the movies tonight? I said, oh, great. I was so happy, to get out of here and get away. Anyhow, we went to the movies, and going there was no problem. And we saw a good movie. I can't remember what I saw. But coming back, the guy who was driving he had a sunroof, and all of a sudden he opens the sunroof, he's going on a freeway about 80 miles an hour, and he starts looking at the stars. So I said, got a little frightened. I said, hey, John, what do? Guide yourself by the stars? So he says, yeah. He says, I'm looking for Jupiter. If I can find Jupiter, I know my way back to the Institute. So I'm scared, you know what? And there are 3 people sitting in the back, and you know how it is. You turn around and you exchange glasses, and these 3 people like froze and like eyes. And I look at them, and they look at me, you know. And he's looking, you know, and driving. And I don't know what to say. I'm stuck. So all of a sudden he says to me, can I borrow your glasses? He says, I can't see too well. Boom! So he puts my glasses on for a minute, and he hands it back. He says, I can't see too well with them either. So finally, I said, John, I said, maybe you ought to stop, you know, ask people for directions. You know, you're wasting gas, it's getting late. He keeps driving, won't say a word. I said, no, John, please, maybe you ought to stop. Really. Finally got off the road, and he stopped, you know, he asked for some directions. We're headed back, we're almost at the Institute. And we're sort of relieved, but he's driving like a madman anyhow. He says, you know, the reason I came to the Institute was, he said, I lost my mind for 2 years, and I feel like it's happening to me again tonight. There's a lady here tonight who came in on the same day I did 12 weeks ago, and she went with him the next night. And they went to a Russian movie, and they don't understand Russian. And he pulled the same thing out of her. He's looking for Jupiter, right there.
Feature Russian.
Oh, a double feature. Okay, you want to hear another one? Yeah. I mean, if you know, you know. You're gonna hear it.
All right, sit down. We're doing here.
I was in the Army. This happened over 40 years ago. So we went on a long hike, and we're coming into the barracks. I mean, we're coming into camp, and before you come into camp, they have what they call an obstacle course. They got to crawl under wire and jump over ditches, and I'm dying, I'm sicker than a dog. I said to myself, I know I'm going to make it. Finally, we come to one obstacle. You climb up a rope ladder about 25 feet, then there's a platform on top, and you climb down the other. I fainted on top of the platform. I fell down. But you know, when you faint, you completely relax. All of a sudden, I hear my officer say, leave that man alone. He's all right. I get up, I jump, I run, you know, back into the camp. And we get into camp, and they say, okay, short arm inspection. That means... How do you explain short arm inspection? Anyhow, you take off all your clothes, you go into a rec room, it's called. It's a room like this, and you put on a raincoat, and everybody's stark naked. When you get in there, you take the raincoat off. I take my raincoat off, and I'm covered with a rash. Wow! And prior to this, all they're showing you are orientation films on venereal disease. Don't worry, girls. And you never know what you're going to get. And that's all that's on my mind when I see this rash. And here, you've been confined to camp. For 3 weeks I've been here, and, you know, who went out? Who even saw them? And I look at myself, and, you know, it's on my mind. I say, God darn, I says, I caught syphilis from a toilet seat. So anyhow, the doctor comes in, he says, and, oh, the guys, they all saw me, zoom. They disappeared. They ran to the other side of the room, and I'm standing by myself. And, you know, you're a 19-year-old kid away from home. And I'm thinking, wow. So the doctor comes up to me and he says, have you felt sick today, soldier? I said, oh, Doc, I've been sicker than a dog. He says, well, he says, you got German measles, you're going to the hospital. So I go back to my barracks and I put on my clothes, and one of my buddies comes running after me. I'm walking to the hospital. He says, Marvin, he says, you got to do me a big favor. He says, I want to go to the hospital too. I said, go. I said, what can I do? He says, you got to do me a big favor. I said, what? He says, spit in my mouth.
I want to tell one joke here. It's since we're all speaking about Christmas anyway. This is about Santa Claus, and Santa Claus comes down the chimney, and there's a beautiful woman waiting there with cookies and milk, and she says, Santa, can't you stay for a little while? He says, ho, 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 no, I've got to go. I've got many presents to deliver, you know. So she takes her bathrobe off. She wears a beautiful, slinky little outfit. She says, Santa, don't you think you can stay just for a few minutes? And he said, ho, 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 no, I've got to go. I've got many presents to deliver, you know. And so she put one little strap down. And Santa's eyes are bulging at that point. She tickles his beard. Santa, can't you just stay for just one little minute? And he said, hey, 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 I've got to stay. I can't get up the chimney this way. We have someone's going to do some poetry reciting, and it's Everett.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to sit here because I don't know whether I'll need the mic or not, because my book is kind of big here. This one is kind of, apropos to our staying here, and I titled it, incidentally, I have a book on my sit around and write this and that, mostly nonsensical stuff, but I have a lot of fun. The good way. You need my help? I beg your pardon. I'm going out and work my garden. Carrots, onions, cabbage too. Also need some stalks to chew. Strawberries ripe and rosy red. Melons in their sunny bed. Almond trees so bright in bloom. Peas and apples coming soon. Bees are swarming around of late, blossoms just to pollinate.